Do not attempt to adjust your set. This is a streaming freedom video bulletin. It cannot be stopped, and it is only free voice left on the net. So some new information has come to light with exactly everything that is going on with these new limited license of 30 days that Sony has added to PlayStation digital game content going from March 2026 and into the future, that when you purchase it, you have a limited license of 30 days. And we're getting a clearer picture now thanks to our wonderful community. Definitely not thanks to Sony, who is telling us nothing, but as to exactly what this is and how it impacts us as a gamer. And it may not be as bad as what we've all originally thought it would be, again, for the fact that we had no information whatsoever from Sony. So a super huge thank you to YouTube channel Mystic, who did cover this earlier. I saw his video and I can confirm in what he was talking does sound to be what is actually going on, as one of the games that I have that were limited license now appears to have a full license. We'll get into that a little later on. Also, super huge thank you to someone named Andrew, who apparently had commented kind of the inner workings of what's going on and is really informative in what they had commented. I don't know where this was got. I did screenshot it off of Mystic's video, as that's the only way that I'm able to get it for you on my channel community. So again, all credit goes to them. In any case, let's take a look at what Andrew had to say. The PS4 will install a license file for all content your account owns, regardless of whether or not the content is actually installed. This happens automatically. So if I buy a game on PS Store's website and then turn on my PS4, the license for the most recent purchases is automatically installed. Whether or not you can actually use the license for the game is further controlled by the activation state of your console. Example, if it's set to primary for offline play. Or whether you're online and connected to PSN, in the case of non-primary consoles. In either case, those license files always seem to be present. These license files are valid for an indefinite amount of time for content you own outright, 14 days for content from PS Plus Extra and Premium, and for the duration of your subscription for PS Plus Essential games. What has changed now is that new purchases are not being automatically issued a license file with an indefinite duration. Instead, a 30-day license is issued. I have 2 recent purchased games I was able to test this with. Andrew would go on to state how he got different results in these tests, with one of the games' limited license being replaced with an indefinite license 30 minutes after installing the game. Andrew goes on to state, so why is one game behaving differently to another? The obvious thing which stands out is length of time since purchase. I owned the first game for 16 days, which puts it outside of PSN's 14-day refund window. So I'm speculating that perhaps people were exploiting the fact that you could purchase a game, grab the indefinite license file for the thing off of an exploitable PS4, and then refund the purchase. And Sony is currently mitigating this issue by time limiting the initial license that you are issued. Now, again, I'd like to state that all credit for the information in this video goes, 1, to the person that wrote this article and kind of gave us a peek under the hood, so to speak, Andrew, hopefully I'm saying that name correctly, and then also to YouTube channel Mystic, who included it in his video, of which I screen captured it to be able to provide it for my viewers here, as that's the only way I could get it with my PS4's web browser. So what does this ultimately mean for us as a legitimate customer of Sony if we choose to purchase digital game content from them from March 2026 and going forward? This is one of 4 games that I had which originally did have a limited license. This was downloaded and installed and screen captured on April 25th, where at the time you can see it had a valid period end date of 5/11/2026 and a remaining time of 15 days. Now let's take a look at the same game screen captured yesterday, April 28th. As you can see, the information for the remaining time has been removed. The game now appears to have a permanent, or as you will, indefinite license. Now let's take a look at another game that was installed the same day. This is Ultra Street Fighter 4. This game was purchased, downloaded, and installed, as well as screen captured on April 25th, where at the time I had a 29-day remaining time limit. Here is Ultra Street Fighter 4 captured today, April 29th, where you can see I have 25 days remaining. So, what is the difference between these two games? Where in the case of Ultra Street Fighter 4, it still has 25 days as of April 29th, where in the other case, Edgy Secrets as of April 29th has an indefinite license. The difference is when they were actually purchased and added to the library. So, Ultra Street Fighter 4 was purchased on April 25th, downloaded and installed at that time. However, in the case of the free-to-play game, Edgy Secrets, often I'll take a look at those games, think, I might check it out later on, and I claim it into my library. The game was not downloaded and installed for the first time until April 25th, but that did not matter, as the license was issued to me when I originally claimed the game and added it to my library. Therefore, that license has been counting down, and because it was validated, it was closer to the end of the date for the window that I had to get a refund, even though that game, of course, would not be eligible. That is the reason why, after 14 days, that game was given an indefinite license, where in the case of Ultra Street Fighter 4, I am still within the window for a refund, even though because I've downloaded it, I am not eligible. So, going forward, if you are somebody that you do want to purchase a game digitally from PSN Store, some things to keep in mind is, first of all, please, I highly stress, do not simply go by the information that you're getting in this video or anything else that you're seeing on YouTube. While myself and others are trying to provide correct information, I'm doing my best to try to be factual and be accurate. Mistakes can be made. Remember, Sony has not told us anything about the change that they've made. Only their AI even confirmed that it was indeed intended. And so, while we're doing our best to figure this out, we're all in the same boat. We're all in the dark on this. And the last thing that I want is you guys getting fucked out of your money. Now, if you're going to make a purchase from PSN Store, some things to keep in mind is that it doesn't matter if you're PS4 or PS5. When you make the purchase, then you have a 30-day limited license, which does need to be validated. You can see the limited license on the PS4. You cannot see it on the PS5. If you are going to purchase something, I would highly recommend that you try to do it from your console. If you're going to do it from a computer, then try to get on your console and sign in to Sony's network as soon as possible so that you can make certain to validate that 30-day limited license. There's been some conflicting things about that. While Sony's AI does mention it, it doesn't really mention what will happen if it's not validated. However, modders have mentioned that it would be removed if not validated in 30 days. Personally, I think it would probably just expire and then you'd have to go about trying to get it renewed. But I do not know either way, so exercise extreme caution. Try to get it validated when you purchase it. Now remember, when you make a purchase, whether it is the base game, premium edition, a demo, free to play, whatever, the purchased game has the limited license of 30 days for it to be validated, but on top of that, you are under a 14-day window where if you meet the criteria or not for a refund, your game is going to have that limited license. And on PS4 it's visible, on PS5 it's not, but it's still there ticking down in the background. Now, according to the information that has been provided, as well as my own experience with one of the 4 games that I had that had a limited license, then after that 14 days is gone, the window is closed, you're no longer eligible for a refund, then you should be able to get an indefinite license, a permanent one. And if you're offline, but your console is set as your primary console, you should be able to play the game like you've done with other ones in the past offline. And theoretically then, it shouldn't need to be that you have to connect to Sony servers every 30 days as we previously thought. At least not if I'm understanding the new information correctly. Now again, please keep in mind, Sony has not told us anything on this. This is coming from the community as well as my understanding and interpretation of it. Also, I do not know if you have to be connected to their servers for the time that it is limited till you get the indefinite license. I'd recommend it just to be on the safe side. Also, I don't know if it would matter if you had ported it just over to an external hard drive or if you have it on the actual system. I would think that the license would be stored on the system always, but just to be on the safe side, I'd also recommend, if at all possible, leave the game over there until you get that indefinite license. And keep in mind that it may not be right at 14 days, it may be approximately a little bit after. I didn't notice exactly when it changed for me, but I'm pretty certain it was at the 14-day mark. So I hope the information in the video was helpful to you. Please remember that the YouTube channel Mystic, as well as Andrew, deserves all the credit if any of the information is helpful to you. I'm just trying to help provide that information to people on my channel. But in any case, thank you for taking the time to watch the video. Take care. This has been a Streaming Freedom Video Bulletin via the Eyes Only Informant Net. Peace out.